Hello, you're listening to Otaku Spirit Animecast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined here with Chris.
Yo.
Today's episode is our spring 2025 anime season first impressions. I was about to say winter. We're done with winter, Andrew. We're leaving that behind. As per usual, that we're at otakuspirit.com. It's where you can go for all of our links, social media links, ways to get a hold of us, ways to support us. We greatly appreciate it. It supports the channel. It means a lot to us. But yeah, Chris has managed to pull off quite a list. Even though last week he had me worried. Did you just go super mode over last week? I can't let Andrew down. I'm gonna binge a bunch of shows.
No, I just watched shows.
You watched more than you thought you did.
I did.
You made last week sound like you don't want to do next week, Andrew. I'm like, okay, that means you haven't watched anything. We pulled up a good list.
I hadn't watched anything. I don't know how I pulled this off, but I pulled it off.
It's all a blur for Chris anymore. He's like, I watched that? Yeah, I did watch that. We were going to take the week off, but I told Chris, because I'm not feeling 100%. So if I sound down bad, that's why. But typically whenever we start recording, this happens to me whenever I live stream too. It's I start and then it's just it's better for me. I think me talking with you or doing a live stream, it kind of is therapeutic in a way, but we'll see. We're just kind of going off the cuff.
I'm therapy for you, Andrew?
Yes. You have to ask me, how does that make you feel, Andrew? But I did want to talk to Chris about a certain show that he said that he did watch, and I'm really excited about, which will be our first one, which is Apocalypse Hotel. Chris, you watched that?
Yes, I did.
I didn't bring up on your screen. Dude, I just started you up, and you're starting to bug me. That's what I get for putting on the watch.
I got used to those things a long time ago.
But yes, Apocalypse Hotel, a new series in the spring season. It is streaming on Crunchyroll, running for 12 episodes, done by Side Game Pictures. So you know it's going to look good, and it does look good. It's an original. They apparently have a manga that's going to be coming up later on. The script and series composition is wrote by Shigeru Murokoshi, who did Ninja Kamui, Gymnastic Samurais, and Zombieland Saga. See, I'm going to be off my game today. I'm going to slur some words. But yeah, Susan opens up in a world of mankind where they are essentially, there's mentions of a pandemic that's happening from monkeys or gorillas or something like that. There's a disease that's spreading from Mexico or something. They're talking about a pollution that's going on that's killing everybody. It gets to a point where people can't even breathe the air without choking and dying. So they're panicking. Mankind is currently trying to build places underground and undersea, but eventually kind of culminates into mankind just jumping into spaceships and getting the heck out of the Earth.
Yep, pretty much.
We cut to a hotel, which this hotel is being run completely at the time by robots. This is a hotel that was ahead of its time. They were incorporating different robots that will handle different tasks at the hotel itself. And yeah, the owner pretty much left the hotel to the robots as he left for the spaceship to leave with mankind. He kind of said that, we'll probably be back in 3 years, but take care of the hotel while I'm gone. Well, yeah, cut forward, what was it?
A century.
At some point it implied, I think, 1,000 years, or was it 100 years?
100 years. 1,000, or it
was a crap
century.
ton of days.
Yeah, because it was, she does say that the time is 2157. So if we assume that they left in 2057.
I know at some point she had a day report log, and I calculated, and I think it was about 100. But anyways, it cut forward way later. The plants have taken over the land again. You have all these skyscrapers that are just vines all over them, and trees have taken them over. But yeah, there's just one little hotel where it's all clean because all the robots are keeping the plants off it, keeping the garden, checking everything. And they're just waiting there, waiting for any humans to return back to Earth and come in there and serve them. We mainly focus on Yashiro, and Yashiro is the head robot. Every single morning, come out there, do a roll call to all the robots, read off the 10 commandments of being a host for the people that come into the hotel, taking care of them, all that kind of stuff. And then, yes, at some point, just kind of running into different issues they have. One of the earlier issues that come up is, yes, she's checking all the rooms, and she comes to find that one of them is missing a shampoo hat. And this turns into a dilemma because they find out the stocks of shampoo hats are out. So they have to let's go find some shampoo hats because we cannot have not a shampoo hat there, because the AI model that they produced in order to check what would happen if they didn't have a shampoo hat was almost 100% chance that the guest would be unhappy and they would not return. So that's a whole thing there. And then, yeah, how many episodes did you get in? There's only 2 episodes. Assuming. Is it 3 episodes? I think it's only
I haven't
2
seen
episodes.
these. I seen them.
You've seen the alien though.
I seen the alien.
Yeah, at some point, yeah, as she's like freaking out about the shampoo hat thing, I think that's the second episode. The alien is there. An alien shows up at the front door. Spoiler: an alien walks in, and yeah, there's no rules in the policies about aliens, so they welcome the alien in and give them good service. All the while, Yashiro's trying to figure out if the alien's happy with their service or not. He seems to be displeased with a lot of things, but still just kind of doing whatever she can in order to fulfill his needs. And that's the gist of it. What do you think? Well, they have an environment checker robot that shows up at some point while the alien's there. The environment robot came there because it sensed the spaceship and was going to eliminate it because it has the ability to eliminate threats. But yeah, he shows up at some point and implies that, yeah, I've been doing all my routes and everything like they assigned me to. He's supposed to be checking to make sure at which point the Earth is inhabitable again. And he's been sending off reports. And yeah, he reports at some point that they're not responding anymore. So they're probably not coming back, which, yeah, bums out Yashio again. Poor Yashio. Always having anxiety attacks like me. So what do you think of this show?
So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm hesitant to, because the alien thing was kind of a little bit left field. I was figuring, okay, I didn't know that it was an alien until a little bit later. I just kind of figured it was some random fungus have started their next evolution or something like that, with humans not in the way to stop everything. So I'm really curious as to what direction we're going. Obviously, we're going in the direction of just random other things coming in. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But yeah, I agree. It looks great. But it's been kind of a weird show for sure.
I've been telling a lot of people, like, this show is charm. It just oozes charm, like, through and through. When I watch this show, it brings a smile to my face. I think, yeah, when we were doing our previews and stuff like that, I think that big question mark was going to be like, is this going to be robots discover emotions? Is it human? Is it robots mimicking humans at some point? I mean, they're technically mimicking humans because they're hosts. They're supposed to bring people in and serve them and all that kind of stuff. They're supposed to. Yashio looks like a human. None of the other robots look like humans except for maybe Doorman. But it has this kind of sense there where it's not really doing anything.
The
like
flycatcher
deep.
Has a smiley face.
It has a sense there where it's trying to go for a plot line about sort of the lack of humanity. Like there is a constant feeling of melancholy, a constant feel of dread, because like when I watched the first episode, it's like, yeah, it kind of feels sad that this Earth is just uninhabited and the robot's just sitting there waiting. Like I feel so bad that Yashio is constantly just waiting for the owner to come back. Goes to shut down. Tomorrow's going to be the day. And again, this is a long time later. Mankind's not coming back, kind of thing. She's just sitting there waiting for him to return, and they never come back. And then you have that whole sense there where the robots are starting to fail. Yeah. Like they had the driller robot in the first episode. He's unattending, so she goes out to look for him, uses the GPS, finds him, and he's just. I don't think he was impaled, like something attacked him, but it could have just been a collapse of something.
Yeah, I would assume something collapsed. He fell through and got impaled that way.
But he's just tore up, and she doesn't have the parts to replace him. That's like when any of these robots break down right now, they don't have the parts for them. So she's got this big graveyard robots, and it seems like it's actually impacting her. And I think that's where it's starting to meddle into the idea of her having emotions and the idea that she's actually not liking the situation. It's impacting her. Like she starts to get slow on her duties. Like one of the robots comes in and says, hey, you're behind on your routes. And she's like, wait, what? So she's kind of relapsing back to find out where I messed up in my route because I'm behind on schedule. I never do that. And it has those little brief moments where she's acknowledging, yeah, she keeps thinking about the robots downstairs. And so there is a feeling that she's struggling. And again, she has mental breakdowns. Like this poor robot has these little mental anxiety panic attacks like once an episode, it feels like. Again, the whole situation with the shampoo hat, not being able to understand the doorman, and not being able to understand the guest, and yeah, getting the news that the owner might not come back. She just constantly is breaking down and having these reset points. But outside of that, like besides it having sort of what feels like going to be like some sort of subtle storytelling going on, it's charm. Like I find I find it's not so much a series where I have a lot to really discuss. I kind of wanted to cover this show on a weekly basis. It's kind of one of those series where I just like to talk about the charm that it has. Like, prime example, the moment that she comes in there, or the alien comes in there, and she doesn't know how to communicate with it. So she goes through this big old booklet of all languages trying to figure out what he's saying, and it can't figure out what he's saying. And so she tries a couple of them, and it's still not getting through. And then it just kind of defaults to her sort of just having to give signs. You want to sleep here? And the alien stops her and tilts her head back. Like, she's tilting her head down like this, sleep, and he pushes her head back up straight. And then like this little pointing tentacle points straight up in the air. And then she's like, okay, so you want to sleep. Pushes her head back up. Okay, well, write down your name right here. And he just like, he writes something down. She's like, can you tell me the name? Yashio? And he's just like, I forget exactly what he said. Nyam nyaman or something like that. She's like, nyam nyamana-sama. Well, okay. What was the next part? She was
gave him the key.
No, you guys.
She
gave the okay sign, and she's like okay, and then he takes her hand and curves it like that, so it's pointing straight up again, and the thing points up again, and it's like, does he have an issue with like things not being straight, and so he's constantly kind of making sure everything is upright, and then give the key, and he just does not like the key. He's like, meh, and just puts the key on top of her head. So she's like, okay, well, I'll take you to my room, to your room. Like, she assumes that that's what he means. It's just like this lack of communication, but they're trying to make a communication happen. And all the while, it's just, again, it just is so charming. Like, it is so cute. I love it. Again, that whole shampoo hat breakdown moment was just absolutely hilarious, where she realized the shampoo hat's not in the shower. And so she can't, it's supposed to be there. It's always there when she comes around the corner. She does her checks. No mold. The sink's not dripping. Shampoo hat. No mold. The sink is not dripping. Shampoo hat. Shampoo hat. Like, if I keep saying it, it's going to suddenly appear, right? And then, her just absolutely going ballistic and doing simulations about what would happen if a shampoo hat's not in there. And them trying to figure out if they can make the shampoo hat. No, it's specially made. And it's just, it was so dorky. It was absolutely dorky. And then trying to get in that whole situation of trying to make this alien happy and rescuing the alien, doing the tea ceremony with the alien, and just vomiting all the tea against her face. It's just so good. Stopping the robot from killing the alien the entire time, constantly jumping in front of the beam. It's so cute. I adore Yashio. Like, her character is just so fun, and she's cute.
I will eliminate it the second that it stops being a guest.
Yeah, but it's a forever guest, so it could never not be a guest. She caught him on a technicality. You can't kill him because he's a forever guest. Everybody that comes there is always a guest there. It's dorky. I love it. Visually,
go take him to the bank to steal the money.
That was great. Oh, you have to pay first, because the alien's just like, okay, cool, I'm finally checking out. So she's following him, and as they walk out there, he just doesn't have any money. Oh, you don't know what money is? Okay. And then she like cuts over to them, and bank vault's opened up, and she's like, this is what money is. And so the assumption is that he took some of it. Like, let me it's like, to this robot, all she cares about is that a tender was made. She doesn't care how he got it. She doesn't care. She has to help him out with it. She just wants to make the transaction finalized. Now, the question mark is why did she get an achievement?
Achievement. Yeah, I've seen that.
Do you think that's the AI is evolving and it just made an achievement for it? Or do you think the owner put that in there? Like, he knew aliens were coming? It seems weird. It just seems so weird. Like, where did this come from?
She gained the ability to make hot water.
Yeah, and I mean, that technically goes to her having tea with the alien. Maybe that was all part of it. Now you can make the tea yourself. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if the owner knew or something like that. I mean, the assumption is unless they have some sort of cryogenic freezing or something like that, I don't think the owner's ever coming back. But it makes you kind of wonder. Yeah, I did see in the OP they had spoilers for people that don't like OP spoiling things. They had the Tanukis in there. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really expecting that. So I guess it technically can go the route. We've introduced aliens, so now everything's up in the air. We don't care. We'll do anything at this point. So yeah, I can totally see Tanuki showing up on an entire Tanuki family. Maybe spirits, yokai or something like that showing up. I wouldn't doubt that either.
Well, okay, The leaves on the head, I just automatically assumed when I seen the fungus alien, I just assumed it was the next evolution of fungus, and then we would get little plant people who had, evolved as well. But then they said alien, and it's like threw everything out the window. So, I mean, I'll be more apt to believe Tanukis than the other, because I mean they did have tails. So
Yeah, if they jump forward like 50,000 years, I can go more in that realm of like some evolution happening, because it needs some time to cook something like that.
well, I mean, at worst they'll probably pop up and say, we're Tanukis, and we hid ourselves from humans for millions of years, and now that the humans are gone, we're revealing ourselves and everything like that. So
Traveling around, we came across this building that kind of sticks out. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's a reason why this building just sticks out like crazy. Maybe because it just has no vegetation on it like every other building in the area has. I think it'll be cute. I'm kind of curious how long that whole arc will go for, but I'm loving this show. Like through and through, I'm loving it. Like every episode that I watch, it just puts a massive smile on my face. I thought the doorman joke was going to get old. Like the initial opening is literally her going out to get water, and then she splashes on the doorman. Doorman gets up and it's like, "Oh yeah, I just opened the door and I overheat. We don't have any coolant." And she's like, "Stop opening the door whenever it's not necessary." But I can't. I have to always be ready. I got to keep on my game. If I stop opening the door and I don't have my practice, I'm gonna fail at it. And like after like the second time, I'm like, "Oh, that's gonna be a recurring joke, isn't it?" And sure enough, it just never gets old. Like especially like the whole scene where like they're trying to find somebody to take the role of Drillman because he was like digging for a onsen spot, and she's like, "I'm gonna take on that role." And they're like, "No, have Doorman do it because he's like the big muscly guy." And she's like, "No, you don't realize we always have to have Doorman there because it's very important that if we do get a guest, he opens that door. If somebody's not there to open that door, it would be horrible. It would be devastating." And she's given up this big speech of how great Doorman is. Like he's the greatest doorman. He's the greatest door opener that I'm aware of. Like she has to like that I'm familiar with. And then she's like made this grand long speech of how great he is. That's what Doorman does. And all of a sudden he opens the door and he falls over. It's just cut over to her, splash, and then back over there and finish her speech. I just love it. Again, it's charming. It is super charming. And it technically
opens up the door for owner, and then suddenly he's like got this while he's just popping out.
He finally has his moment. He's barely standing up. He did it. He pulled it off. It's great. I love it. So I highly suggest it. Yeah, I think to put like a caveat on it, I'm gonna acknowledge that for a lot of people, this show is just not going to work. Like, this is going to be the show that I think at the end of the season, I'm going to absolutely love, but I think that most people are going to think it's boring. It just has no substance or whatever. It's not high action. It doesn't have, like, so far, crazy plot twists. I mean, Doorman's trying to figure out how humans think because he wants to understand them better, to serve them better. So it's going on that whole idea where he's trying to evolve. But I don't think it's going to really get that deep. So far it's just been very, very charming, just super charming. I love it for that. So it looks super good though. Saiging's picture is definitely pulling off something together.
By the way, that one guy who's getting ready to type because I said owner, I know it's not owner, it's the fungus guy, but it's
an alien Chris.
Yes, I know.
Zazu Sasama.
She said owner for a split second because she thought it was the owner.
He did have a top hat thing going on, so it was easy for her to kind of get thrown off by that. But yeah, I can see that. Where was it? Yeah, like when he mentions that Mankai is not coming back, she's like, just like totally broke. Like she's gonna just like have to reboot. I thought I wrote down his name, Zazu Zosama. I love it. Anyways, that's enough gushing about Apocalypse Hotel. What else? Do you watch Aharen-san?
Yes.
Did you watch the new season of Aharen-san?
Yes,
Where is my Aharen-san? I'm surprised that Crunchyroll still does not have that title translated. I wonder if it's like a license thing. It's very rare that a show does not have a translated title. I mean, we talked about last time that it's roughly Aharen-san is indecipherable. But they still have Aharen-san wa Hakarenai season 2. So, but yeah, it's on Crunchyroll. running for 12 episodes, done by Felix Films, based on a manga, comedy romance slice of life. For those who don't know what Aharen-san is Indecipherable is about, it follows a girl named Reina Aharen and her, spoilers for the end of the first season, her boyfriend Matsuboshi Raido. The two of them, in the earlier segments of the first season, it's about how he's kind of always noticing Reina. She has to get up really close to people is because she has a very big problem. She has a huge issue with communicating loudly. And this gets into a whole backstory where at some point she kind of closed herself up, kind of pushed a lot of people away, and thus she doesn't like to speak out loudly. And so she's always getting up really close to him, and he's always helping her out with things because, you know, they're comfortable with each other. And so, yeah, at the end of the season 1, a relationship starts up between the two of them. Going to season 2, we have the introduction of a new transfer student, which is Riku Tamanaha, which, yes, turns out to be one of those girls that were involved in that whole misunderstanding with Reina a long time ago that caused her to quiet up. I thought that was cute, quick, and to the point. And it's like one of those things of like, oh, crap, this is going to be some drama right here. And it's like, no, that was resolved. Cool. We pulled in the sisters and brothers into the mix some more too. Even get Raido's sister involved. I don't think we got much of her in the first season. I don't think so. She'll kind of just off to the side when he's at home. But yeah, and the teacher constantly passing out in middle class over and over again.
Does the teacher get old yet?
Get old?
Yeah, is the teacher old yet?
She's, in terms of anime, very, very old, yes.
So you like her joke?
It's fine.
I'm getting bored of it.
It's not too much. I think we had an issue with it in the first season, but it's fine for me. Like, it doesn't stick on her too long. I think the first episode of this season, it was on her for like quite a bit. But it's always like her reacting to Reina and I want to say Reina. It's Aharen and Raido. I know they like. This is one of those shows where it drives me crazy how the different people say the first name or last name. Aharen and Raido, her just responding to them, just acting really goofy. Like that whole segment where Raido thought that he was tipsy.
That was great.
Bold.
I love that one.
Bold boy.
Bold boy.
He got bald and Aharen was liking it. him princess carrying her and her freaking out. I'm like, it's so cute. There's a lot. I feel like in this season, maybe I'm forgetting it with the first season. I feel like this season more so like Aheron's just being super expressive. Like, yeah, that whole segment where he's princess carrying her, and then later on getting up close to her when they're in the little right after Rin and Edu show up, and she just gets like super flustered because he's getting all like close up to her. It was cute. But no, I'm wanting more Tamanaha. I can't say her last name. Naotoyama Garu. I just like her because of Naotoyama Garu. But her introduction to the cast was really great. I think it was cute. Super cute.
I liked it. I thought it was really a nice little yeah, we put this in here. You thought it was one thing. This is what it really was. And it was a nice little almost subversion of the expectation on that, and it just packaged up, like Andrew had said, packaged up real nicely and got moving on. Now we have a new character in the cast, and hopefully she's going to just take it and run. I'm very curious as to what we're gonna do with the sisters, and that should hopefully be fun to do that as well. But yeah, I'm having fun with it, just like it was last season.
Yeah, I think the main key thing for this series has always been just sort of the cuteness that is Reina and Raido's kind of. Raido is just a solid dude, but I think he also sort of has a little bit of social awkwardness to him. That's why Oshiro absolutely is terrified of him, is because he just has that kind of blank, very stern look. I think didn't the series open up with the idea that he just kind of had a mean face to him that everybody was kind of concerned with?
I think that they mentioned it, but the mean face was Asabi girl, Hana, the short big girl.
Another series you're talking about?
Yes,
okay.
It is another series.
You're talking about different. I'm trying to think of a character in this series like that. I'm like, wait, what? It's a common trope with a lot of these series is the mean looking guy. I'm probably thinking of just Oshiro because again Oshiro is terrified of him like always, and of course you have him get the tipsy little segment. She's like even like just more terrified of him. He looks even angrier now. Kind of won her over though. It felt like he kind of won her over at the end there. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen between Raido's sister and Eru, because those are again two characters that have always been kind of on the sideline.
Yeah.
I know that Ren had quite a few scenes in the first season, but it felt like the other two sisters didn't really have much presence in the last season. But I'll be curious to see what they do with the two of them. I'm not really against a lot of side characters. I think a lot of my fear comes around how certain other series have handled the side characters having more predominant appearance in the show.
Yeah, I mean, the first one that comes to mind would be the teasing master Takagi. I mean, I liked Takagi and her boy toy, but when the extra characters would come into play, they would be really hit and miss for me.
Yeah. That's like the oh my gosh, the big chest lady girl show.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
The short stack girl show. It's
somebody
so annoying
likes
or
to
whatever.
play. Someone wants to play. I can't think of her name. I know her first name is Hana.
But yeah, that series, the rest of the family kind of killed that show for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They didn't really do much with them. It didn't really work out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really think there's anything else to say here. Looking forward to more of it. It just works. It just works. It's not like not a deep thing. It's just a cute little skit-based series that's always kind of worked for me. So, what else? Let's get some negatives in here. No, I'm not gonna make an assumption for you. I'm not gonna assume it's bad for you, Chris. But let's get into the beginning after the end. Tabot is airing, Chris. Give a quick number out of 10, Chris. Was it feeling like so far for you out of a 10?
6.
Wow. The beginning after the end, Saikyo no Osama, Nidome no Jinsei wa Nani wo Suru. It's a series that's streaming on Crunchyroll. I think some people have said it's going to be for 2 cores. I don't know if that's been official yet. I would assume based on how fast they're going through the episodes, I think it's going to be at least, if they do a full adaptation, at least of the web comic, it should be like a 50 episode series-ish. That's if it's done. Anyway, Studio A-Cat's working on it, much to a lot of people's frustration. Based on a web novel, genres are action, adventure, fantasy. But yeah, this one opens up with a guy named, what was it, King Gray?
Yeah.
I think it was originally King Gray. He's this king that is just going on domination. This king is just ruling the land, taking down all of his enemies, mass bombings of his opponents, duels and whatnot. And at some point, he croaks. I think it implies that he may have died in his sleep, maybe got poisoned or something like that. But either way, he wakes up in the as he's passing away, there's something that's calling out to him to say that for him to seek the light or something like that.
Yeah.
Some voice is telling him to seek the light. And then, yeah, he wakes up into the infant of a child named Arthur. And Arthur is born to Alice and Reynolds, these two former adventurers. And then, yeah, they raise him the entire time. He's kind of questioning why he's there. What is this new world? There's a lot of things that are different from his previous life. In the previous life, a lot of people employed the ability of ki, which they like focus their ki energy in and enhance themselves. And in this new world, there's like different uses of what's called mana, which is different than ki. But the idea is similar in the idea that you have to create this mana core and you have to focus your mana core. And after a while, you can then utilize that mana core to either be a manipulator with mana to things outside of you, like a mage, or to enhance yourself, to be an enhancer where you use the mana to strengthen yourself. And then there's oddities like Alice, his mother in this new world, who she's I forget what they called her. It's a different thing, but it's basically a healer. She has the ability to heal with the mana. But yeah, he's raising this new world. He's learning about the new world. Eventually, achieves the ability to use his magic, and then they want to go take him to a place in a main city in order for him to learn more. And they travel over there and eventually get attacked. And that's his far as I got. I kind of snooped in the third episode, and there's some weird dragon thing, and it attacks another dragon thing, and he runs away or something like that. How far did you get?
I watched that episode.
Okay. So what's your thoughts on Tabot?
I think that it was a little bit slow at first, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. I'm very curious as to what direction they take it from here. The dragon thing, it was a little bit weird, but it kind of culminated in a basically passing on almost a little bit of knowledge for that character. That character passing on knowledge to Arthur, and it might be his OP ability from now on, but that was basically what they were doing. Was she was passing on a knowledge of some sort to Arthur, and he moved on to go back to see his family. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here. It almost felt like all of this was the prelude to whatever it is that's going on from this point on. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't want to make too much of a judgment as far as how it looks. I'm not too impressed with it. But as it stands, I mean, it's moving when it needs to. So take that for what it is.
The PNG moves when they tell it to move. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. And everybody's pretty much acknowledged at this point. I think the author himself has even acknowledged at this point the show does not look good. That somebody done goofed up, and it's not looking good. And I feel super bad for the Tabot fans. There's a side of me that almost feels bad for the author. Obviously, if he could have an insanely animated show, he would have it. So I'm not going to go in the judgment there, but somebody obviously messed up. But it is what it is at this point. This is kind of unfortunately what we're getting, and it doesn't look good. It's pretty bad. The point that I made, and it's pretty much, I'm of the mind now where I'm probably not going to finish watching the show. Like, I don't see a benefit to watching it. I probably will end up watching it in the end, but I just don't think, if it's got to be like I have nothing else to do, because I just don't feel like I gain much from visually watching the adaptation of the anime. I literally scrolling through the webcomic, it's much more entertaining. Like, at least then there's no cut content. The cuts of the actual panels look much better. There's even, interestingly enough, and I think this is sort of a thing with the platform that it's on, an interesting utilization of like the panels themselves. Like, you're obviously scrolling up, going through each of the panels, just like your typical. They're very similar to manhwas, and you're scrolling up to go through the panels, and they have like this one shot where as it's coming up, you'll see the character, and then the shot is fisheye or whatever, angled so that it's panning to the other character looking down, then towards the other character. Really cool little uses of the transitions. So it's one of those cases where I just don't think I'm getting enough from the adaptation visually that warrants it. And if it's this bad at the beginning, it's never getting better. It's not going to get better. Like, I'm sorry to anybody that's like super fans and they don't want to accept this. It's just that that is what it is. Now, like I've told a lot of other people, there's a lot of people that don't care. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're the type that it doesn't bother me, it's fine. It's okay. I'm just saying that's my opinion. I don't know that I want to continue it with what it looks like. That aside, I was, for the time being, pushing through it. Just going, okay, whatever. I don't really care visually how it looks. If the story's there to carry it, it's fine. The story so far is okay, and I don't really have a lot of context the whole dragon thing in the third episode, and I'm assuming that's where the hook's going to be. Based on the first 2 episodes alone, it was good enough. I think my biggest appeal to the series was Gray's nasty, dude. I was joking about this with my, not really joking, it's truthful. In my second episode impressions, the second episode literally opens up with a flashback of Gray killing a wife and a child.
Yeah.
in cold blood in front of their father.
And then everybody praised him for
And everybody's saying how great he is.
his decision was.
Yeah, because the layout of the scene, and I didn't see this in the web comic, and it could be in the web novel. The web comic adapts the web novel. This is based on the web novel. So it might be mixed in somewhere in there. But anyways, in the scene, essentially they find out this guy is a traitor, and they bring him before King Gray. And this council makes the decision to punish him, to exile him. And he's like, I can't go back home. We're going to send your family with you. No, we can't go back home. They'll kill us all. Just punish me and let my family be. And so as they're arguing and he's pleading to Gray, please, Gray, spare my wife and child, he goes over and kills the wife and child and says, there you go. Now you don't have to worry anymore, basically. Oh, that's what the council says. You know, he's showing mercy. Now you don't have to worry about it anymore. And the guy starts crying and saying, thank you. I thought for a brief moment from the first episode opening that it was going to be a situation where the crown that he received when he became king made him mad, and thus his actions weren't his own. No, after that scene where he's literally in his mind thinking about it, and he even reflects on it as the situation happens with the bandits attacking, this guy was a mass murderer, a cold-blooded, massacre-inducing, bloodthirsty dude. Not really, it doesn't imply bloodthirsty, he's cold-blooded. And so there was a side of me that was like laughing because a lot of the discussion around the beginning after the end and the arguments between the Mushoku Tensei fans and the Bot fans is this idea that, well, at least Arthur isn't a pervert. No, he's just he's a disgusting genocide inducer. Like, this guy's killed so many people. At least Rudius didn't kill anybody or touch anybody. It's like, you guys lifted Arthur up like he was a saint. This guy is nasty. But like I said, I want that. I like the idea that Arthur used to be this nasty king, and now he's trying to learn about this in this new life, about what it's like to have family and people that care about you and all this other stuff. The only thing that is tripping me up about this setup so far is how quickly the light switch goes off. Like, he went from, again, his previous life of being somebody that just killed like crazy, and now he's in this new life, and it doesn't seem like he even has any ambition for that kind of stuff. Now, he does very quickly establish that I need to get strong. Wow, everybody walks around with weapons in this world? I need to get a weapon quick. Like, he's already thinking about his strategy for protecting himself.
Well, I was kind of going on the idea of maybe that was almost a trained thing, because it kind of implied that he took up the weapon to become the greatest swordsman or whatever as possible. And of course, as he got up in the ranks, he became stronger and stronger. So it almost kind of gave implication that in that world, he was, you almost had to be a cold-blooded killer. Because the one who is the strongest is the king, I think, is one of the scenes that they showed.
What I read in the web comic alongside of it, there was a scene that sort of implied that disputes could be solved by duels. Like, he would go to other countries and just duel their leader and achieve things from that. So there was seemingly a system of dueling, but again, based on essentially watching the entire city get nuked.
Yeah.
And it implied that there was civilians in that city.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that he's not a cold-blooded killer. I'm saying that world kind of leaned towards it was natural for him to become that.
Yeah. It didn't seem like a peaceful world. Right? And it's his raising, too. I mean, it seems like other people had families. It just, he didn't have a family. He's always been alone. So, yeah, I'd be curious if they would handle the whole Gray to Arthur thing as well as obviously comparing to Mushoku Tensei. But that sort of was the initial hook for me. Is like, I like the idea of having a main character who's super nasty. Again, it's not necessarily a nasty. It's not like he's like, God, I gotta get that next hit. I gotta find that next hit. Who could I kill next? Should I do my mom? Should I take out my dad? Which one? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going for that, and it's more even weird reading through the web comic because they toned him down. Now, I'm very curious as to if the web novel is much more to this feeling, because in the web comic, he's constantly cutting jokes. Like that scene where he sees himself in the mirror. He makes a joke, "Look out, ladies, that I'm super cute," or something like that. Good looking. And it's like, this guy just reincarnated from being a murderous king, and now he's cracking jokes about, hey, watch out, kid, watch out, ladies. I'm a lady slayer. It seems weird. It seems way off. But I almost like excuse that because I'm very familiar with the manga adaptation of Mushoku Tensei, which does the same damn thing, where it just cannot keep itself serious, and it's dorky, like the cartoon version of the whole entire thing, where it's got to have a joke every panel. So I don't know. I would assume it's probably just different, just plain up different. I don't know. It's fine. I like the magic system. Seems interesting enough. I like the idea of the cores and how like the more honed your mana core is, the more pure it becomes. It goes from like a black color to like a dark red. Like it's almost like the light itself is pushing through the blood cells, so it's going from a dark red all the way up to a bright white. That whole system is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's going to get any more interesting than that. He does seem like he's applying like the key skills and whatnot with mana in order to create new abilities. Like he's got this whole dashing ability. That's why everybody wanted to teach him it to him. That stuff's kind of interesting, but I don't know. We'll see. I did like how they're handling the whole healer thing. They kind of imply the idea that like Alice is an oddity.
Yeah.
That healers are very rare. And I was kind of assuming both is really the case. The idea of it being both an aspect that you don't want anybody to know that she's a healer because she'll be the first target. Mm-hmm. Because she'll just heal anybody that goes down. But it also implies that, yeah, she's a prime target for somebody to kidnap too. Mm-hmm. They'd want to take her, sell her off to a noble or whatever. If I was a noble in that world, I would want to have if I had all the money in the world, I'd want to use part of that money to secure myself a healer. That way you hurt yourself, they heal me up. Yeah, and it just looks horrible. And I feel bad. I feel big bad for all the fans and all that kind of stuff, but it is what it is. And I wasn't really expecting much out of it being ACAT. I don't know why there was a group of people that just seemed to have it in their head that soul leveling budget. The misinformation train, man. The misinformation train is all it is, man. It's the misinformation train. Let's make something else in here. Where is my other list? My other list. You wanted me to sell you on Kowloon generic romance. Let's talk about Kowloon generic romance, folks. This one's on Crunchyroll, running for 13 episodes, done by Arvo Animation, based on a manga. Drama, mystery, romance, sci-fi, slice of life is the genres. And yeah, this one's from the creator of After the Rain, was the original creator behind that. Seems very different.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe After the Rain later on gets weird. Maybe After the Rain gets really weird later on. But yes, Kowloon, oh my gosh, how do I describe this show? Kowloon generic romance opens up in Kowloon. There's this district in, I think it's in China, technically, because Hong Kong's like right there. But yeah, there's this district in China. It's called Kowloon. You get a brief shot from far away. It almost looks like Kowloon's like almost like this cluster of like old buildings. And then outside of that, it seems like the entire world is moving on to be more futuristic. But either way, it takes place in Kowloon, and we follow a girl named Reiko Kujirai. And she's working at this real estate place in Kowloon alongside her co-worker, Hajime Kudo. And yeah, at some point, let me see how I play this out in my head. We do get some brief little snippets of a news report going on as she's walking on the street towards her work, that there is this new generic Terra, which is this big, massive cube that is floating above the land. And this is supposedly, the people are rumored saying that this is a government-funded program to create basically a place where you can upload your mind and data to. It's basically going to give people eternal life. You can upload yourself into there. It's basically like a virtual reality. Upload yourself in there, and then, yeah, live forever kind of thing. Immortal life. And they're saying there's like rumors that this pharmaceutical company is funding it and everything like that, but that's all rumors, speculation. But yeah, as Reiko is working alongside Hajime, there's a lot of emphasis here as they're doing their work of how Kowloon itself is a place of nostalgia. And that's why Kudo himself really likes Kowloon. It seems like Kujirai has just moved there. So there's a lot of moments where Kudo is trying to show Kujirai around, show her the best places to eat at, even taking her like to the back alley areas where all the people of Kowloon like, have their big festivals and stuff like that. Just helping her kind of fit in with Kowloon, seeing what he likes so much about it. But yeah, things kind of hit south at some point where as Kudo is away from the office, she ends up spotting a photo in his drawer, and the photo is of her, Reiko Kujirai, and Hajime Kudo, which is him. But she looks a little bit different in the photo. She doesn't quite get it. She realized very quickly where the photo was taken. She takes it over to the place where the photo was taken, which was at this little tea shop that was in that area where he was trying to help her with the festival and everything like that. And in the actual bartender at the shop, he's like, "Yeah, I know who's in that photo. That's you. I took it of you back when you got engaged." And so it gets in this big question mark of like, okay, who's this person in the photo? How does this person relate to me in any way? And yeah, who am I? Because it's very quickly, Reiko realizes that she doesn't have any memories of her past. Like, she can remember back as far back as like 6 to 12 months ago, but it's like, even then it's hazy. Like, she's having a lot of difficulty even remembering much of her past. And so that's getting into this big, massive question mark as to, is she the original Reiko? Was the original Reiko replaced by her? What is the generic Terra? Are they in the generic Terra? Who is this Kudo? Why does Kudo keep pushing her away? Why does it seem like he likes her, but he's never wanting to reciprocate what she has interest in him? Is the feelings that she has for him her own feelings? Is it that she's just filling in the role? Is she trying to become what she calls Kujirai B, which is the Kujirai in the photo? She calls it Kujirai B. Is she trying to become Kujirai B because she likes Kudo? Or is she like Kudo because Kujirai B like Kudo? It's super weird. I actually explained that a lot better than I thought I was going to be able to explain it. Let me just tell you, it's proof enough that I think my episode 1 impressions of the show, the raw recording was an hour long. I think I edited it down to like 40 minutes. That's how much is in this show to really kind of pick apart. There's like multiple facets to this show. There is a sense of romance, very adult romance. The idea of like they're office workers, and it seems like she does have feelings for him. But it doesn't really kind of stick with that stuff because the mystery is constantly trying to break it. The mystery of the series does not want it to happen. It's just constantly breaking it. So there's a sense here where you want to kind of have a relationship between the characters. It seems like Kujirai likes Kudo. Kudo seems like he likes her, but he's constantly pushing her away. And the question mark is why? And I have like these theories that are developing in my brain, and the idea that I think that he's probably trying to keep away from Kudo because their relationship might cause something. Is it have anything to do with... the assumption is that Kujirai that's in the photo is dead. I mean, there's been several times where somebody has sort of hinted at that she shouldn't be around, that she's not around anymore, that Kujirai... This Kujirai cannot be her because she's gone. Now, what does that gone mean? Does it mean dead? Does it mean left behind? That's the massive question mark. All the while, I'm constantly stuck on the generic Terra thing, which again is this, I don't know, let's call it Matrix. A little floating cube of Matrix that's sitting up there. I immediately assume that they're probably inside that maybe at some point Kudo has uploaded himself into the generic Terra, and he probably did that in order to maybe be with Kujirai because Kujirai's gone. Is he trying to have a relationship with sort of a recreated world of Kowloon with Kujirai existing in it? That's the massive question marks. And I like how much it's sort of breadcrumbing a lot of reveals while at the same time keeping me extremely puzzled as to what they could possibly do in the show. Like in this last episode would be episode 3. I'm at the point now where I don't even know what's real anymore. Like we got to this point where after the 3rd episode, I'm going, I just assume that everything's not real anymore. Like I don't even know where I don't have a basis to stand on anymore. Is that good? But no, going back to what I was saying earlier, having a 40-minute long plus first impressions of the first episode why that was is because it does a really good job of showing and not telling. There was a lot in the scenes that I could read from. Like early on, she goes to leave their apartment and I seen 8 everywhere. Her room number was 8. It listed 8 on the floor and she goes to leave. And for some reason, I just noted down on my notes because I usually take notes when I do my first impressions so that I have an outline to work with when I do my videos. And at some point, way later on, Kudo's wrist was dirty. And she's like, oh, why is your wrist dirty? He's like, oh, that's just a habit that I have. Every time I see the number 8, I have to touch it. So it shows him like a brief shot of him walking down this, this alleyway, and there's a number 8 that's wrote on the wall for something, and he just taps it. It's a little quirk that he has. I think I connected it there, but for sure when I finished the episode and I went back and looked at my notes, I'm like, it clicks. Right there. It's implying the idea that there could be a reset factor to this whole thing. And I think he has a quirk for 8 because it's so significant to him. It's her apartment. He wants to always know where her apartment is because she's important to him. And so he never wants to forget the number 8. Always remember the number 8. I think he said something to the effect later on where like quirks are great because it helps you remember things that are special. Right there. He never wants to forget where she's at. She's at apartment number 8. Always remember number 8. It's stuff like that. Just little subtle. The fact that, was it fortune? There's signs all over the place with the fortune. Now I know that like the whole lucky cat thing, fortune thing is a thing, but I don't think that like signs that just say fortune is commonplace to be on literally every single wall in Japan. And again, this is Kowloon, China. But like it being like on the doors of the apartment building. No, that's not commonality there. Some of them being upside down over here or there. It's like every single door has fortune on it. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little note as well. There's just so much. It's so much. This is one of those shows that I just have fun kind of just picking at it and figuring out what's going on before it happens. And again, having the payoff where like afterwards, again, the note of the 8, it's a payoff. It's a payoff moment where I'm like, I'm glad I noted that in my brain that it seems like 8's important. Okay, there it is. It's important. The idea of she has an obsession with having watermelon after she puffs. They love puffing in this show, by the way. She likes to have watermelon after puffing. And I'm like, okay, that's an interesting thing. And then suddenly later on, they'll note it again. It's like, there's right there. That's where it came from. It keeps kind of hinting at it, and it's coming back again. It's obviously important. It does that a lot. I really like it. Out of that, I think the show looks really good. I think the attention to detail visually, it's not like an amazing animated show or anything like that, but it does at least do well enough to kind of when the details needed in the scene in order to, again, be symbolic about something, it does it. And that's what I really do appreciate about it. She looks hot. I haven't mentioned that yet, but she looks hot. There's a lot of really spicy shots of her, especially in the first episode. It's just it's got a very grown up and mature, sexy style to her. And obviously Kujinai B as well. It almost feels as if, and this goes to my whole theories around the story, it almost feels like Reiko Kujinai, the current one in the story, they're sort of putting her as seemingly a slightly younger version of her. I can go into my theory that I think there might be a reset factor here, that she might be a younger self. But the Kujinai B is much more mature. She's like 32 years old, which I know is like granny age in anime. But even like her voice actor, I'm assuming it's the same Seiyu, but she has a much more gruffy voice to her, much more mature, much more deep, which kind of works out for her as well. It's super good. I'm loving it. It's intriguing. It's weird. The recent episode 3, had like one of the most cringe-inducing moments. Like this thing happened between two characters. Like, oh gosh, why do we have that scene? That slurp noise. I'll just say that slurp noise. It just was like, oh gosh, no. It unsettled me physically. It was that bad, which is a good sign. It's a good sign that the show can induce something like that to you. You get a little bit of an investment there. It's super good. It's super intriguing, super fascinating. I have one big concern. I did not look into this yet, and I shame on me for yet at this point 2 weeks after I think I originally found out about it. I heard at some point that the producer wanted to do a multimedia project with this. And it was a multimedia project with anime and live action. And it implied that they produced it so that you watch both of them to get the full context. And I was very concerned the moment I found out about that. That's kind of similar to that whole Odd Taxi thing where like you can't get the whole story unless you actually read this or watch the stupid or listen to or read the transcribings of the radio Odd Taxi radio thing. So I was really concerned that there was going to be a necessity to watch live action. I've been reading the manga alongside the anime. And so far, nothing has been skipped that's like detrimental. The biggest thing I think so far, like character-wise, is that during this segment of chapters for the first episode, the moment that her eyesight got better, it was technically from the very beginning. Like literally, the show opens with her putting on her glasses and she's blurry. Like another note on my piece of paper that. Why did her vision go blurry the moment she put her glasses on? I'm fully aware of how that works. You're not able to see. You put the glasses on, you're able to see. But yeah, her vision opening the show is getting better. Like she literally goes to the doctor and she has 20/20 vision now. And it's like, why is that? Like that doesn't make any sense. In the manga, once her vision gets better, she says it's great because now she can see more details. She's able to notice things that she didn't notice before. Details about things. Especially people. So that's why she noticed the dirt on his cuff. She's now got better sight. She's now noticing a lot of details about Kudo. And it's details that are making her fall in love with him. Like, it's just little subtle statements like that kind of imply more that she's growing attached to him. Watching the anime, I know that full well. Like, I know that she's falling in love with him. I didn't need that extra context, but I know there's some people out there that might feel like it's missing that context. I didn't feel like so far much has been missing. I mean, there's a few statements in episode 3 that were pretty significant, and we'll see in the next episode if it's not something they don't cover in another way. They have been moving things around. They've been putting a lot of scenes together, and that's, I think, kind of helping them, adapt how many chapters they're adapting. I think they're adapting like 8 chapters per episode, so they're going through it pretty quickly. But I haven't really noticed anything like big in the manga that's being skipped, and so I'm gonna go with that. Like, rather than
have you popped into the live action to see if there's anything that you're any reason why it should be watched?
I didn't, and that's mainly because I'm reading the manga and I haven't noticed anything that would be there unless they're going to make new content. My only assumption is that they might put more emphasis on the romance, because live actions like that typically are want to focus on the romance more. And so that might be what it is. Like those little subtle details of like, yeah, she's noticing more of him and it's making her fall in love with him. That could be what the live action wants to do. But I didn't, because if I noticed like some big chunks missing, I would have definitely done that. I just don't know. I haven't even looked to where it's at. I haven't even looked to find out where it's at. But yeah, that's my only caveat. And that's going to be something I won't know if comes to something of a problem until it's over. I don't know if it's going to be a full adaptation at this point. I guess technically about 100 chapters that this would cover. I don't remember exactly how many chapters there was or if it's even done. Anyways, that's all to say, I really, 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 really love this show. It's super fascinating. I love the characters so far. Yeah, I'm with a lot of people. Kudo is super obnoxious right now because he's being so mean. But I'm assuming he's doing that on purpose. Like, I hate it. This guy's a jerk to her. Constantly saying I hate you, constantly pushing away, constantly saying this isn't real love, it's an illusion, all this kind of crap. But again, I think it's because this is a guy that's hurt. I'm assuming Kujidai B's dead, and he doesn't want to get involved with her. And she's trying to be who's that girl was. She's fake, basically. And so I'm going to assume that eventually it's going to get into some major reason why he's pushing back so hard. But for right now, yeah, I agree with people. God, a jerk. Stop being so mean to Kujidai. But anyways, that's Kowloon generic romance. Did I sell you on it?
A little bit.
I did kind of hint at there being possibly a time thing, and I know that upsets you.
Well, if it's based on one of your thumbnails, I could see it.
Based on one of the thumbnails. What'd it say?
Clones.
Oh, yeah. Yep, yeah. Well, that's like I said, I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing where things jump back or if it's just a copy person or, again, just software. Is it all software? Is it needing patching? All that stuff's weird. Do you want to talk about Compass? Are you just not gonna? Did you not want to talk about it? Because I'm probably not gonna watch it. So if you don't have anything to say at all, you're the one that's gonna choose to say something or not. Was it about like a world of Miku's and virtual reality? Miku one of Vocaloids?
No, it's like they're trying to do an anime version of League of Legends.
Oh gosh.
It's all these heroes being dragged into this place, and they have to go and do some kind of weird battle over these keys or something like that. They've got these characters that are coming in, and those characters are doing some kind of card battler system. Which, like I said, it kind of, if you think of it from the perspective of League of Legends, it kind of works. Where
Did they roll for skins?
No, I have not seen that yet.
Did they buy $500 skins?
It wouldn't surprise me if they randomly pull that off. But yeah, it's they have these players. They're kind of like players, and they've got a lobby area that they're kind of playing with, and it's just, like I said, I'm not really feeling this one. I want to say that it's interesting to an extent, but it's not really doing that much. So take it for what it is. I'm not impressed with it. That's for fact. It looks fine. Characters are fun, I guess. Not interesting. Nothing about this show is interesting, truth be told. I was actually very seriously considering dropping it. But as far as Miku, I guess the Voidol would probably fit in that that category, but she's not really. They've got a couple of magical girls who are doing the singing like their idols. 13 super hates the world.
He hates the world.
Yeah, and everybody needs him because he's the greatest ever or something like that.
He's the one hero named 13 that is a troublemaker who refuses to find a partner. When he's nearly kicked out, a new player named Jin agrees to join him. They got to bring peace to the world of Compass 2.0. I'm sorry, to the piece of the world of hashtag Compass 2.0. Anyways, great, yeah. Chris.
Yeah, they've got bugs that are attacking the compass thing, whatever the cube thing was.
It's based off on games, so I'd assume that's probably just a tie-in thing, just to kind of get people to check out a series that nobody wants to check out. That's fine. I think we should do one more. Let's do one more. This should be a fun one to talk about. Shiunji Family, Chris. You watched Shiunji Family, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
The new series by the creator of Rent a Girlfriend. Because if you like your waifus, why not a bunch of sister waifus? Shiunji Family, or Shiunji no Kodo Matachi. This one is streaming on Crunchyroll for 12 episodes, done by Dogo Kobo. The genres are comedy, romance. This one, again, the creator is Rinji Miyajima, who, of course, is the creator of Rent a Girlfriend. Series opens up with the Shiunji family. They kind of cut over to where their family is currently located. There's this rumor going around the area that there's this family that's really well off. The father is like a self-made entrepreneur. He made a lot of money. Family's very well off. They have 7 children? ? 7, right?
Yeah.
They have
2 boys,
7 children,
5 girls.
7 children, 2 boys, and then 5 girls. And they're the talk of the town. Every single time they're out and about, there's constantly dudes are gossiping it's the gorgeous Shiunji daughters. All of them have their own fan clubs. You have Oka, who is the one that's very athletic and very smart, top of the class and whatnot. You have Kotono, who is the youngest of the daughters, and she is the smile that must be protected. She's super timid, and all the guys want to protect her. Seiha, she is the science girl. She's in the science club, and she's very smart. We have Minami, who is a part, basically aiming, like she's already set to being like Olympian tennis player, very athletic. And then Bonri, who is the eldest of these sisters, and she's like a just entered college. Everybody seems to like her, both young and old. And yeah, then the two brothers, which is Shion. Shion has his own fan club too. He's already got a girlfriend though. Sorry, ladies, he's taken. And then Arata, who is pretty much the eldest brother. He's pretty much the heir to the family name. So yeah. But yeah, Arata has one big problem. Unlike Shion, he doesn't have much luck with love. He's asking Shion for like advice and everything like that. Come to find out, he does have a girl that he is interested in, but he just can't take that step. Like he just sucks at just reaching out and trying to contact her or whatever to express it. Constantly getting advice from Shion. It seems like to imply through conversations with Arata and Shion that Arata has sort of a mental block. Seems like his time having so many sisters and the sisters pretty much having dominance of the house. It sort of made him have like reservations with, getting out there, approaching women. Like he has some sort of block. He does have a lot of sense of destiny and whatnot. And it seems like he is sort of too much in the mindset of waiting for that destiny to roll out that girl for him. He's waiting for the girl to step on him, basically. Maybe literally. We'll see. Anyways, at some point we're having Kotono's 15th birthday is coming up, and they're all going to get together. Sure enough, the birthday comes around, the family gathers around, the father comes home. It says, hey, before we start any of the celebrations, I have an announcement to make. I promised your mother that I would make this announcement once you all reach 15. Now that Kotono is reaching 15. You're not actually blood related. Well, actually, was it Minami and Shion are related? They're actually blood related. But everybody else, no, you're not blood related. None of you are actually blood related. You're all adopted. Minami and Shion was from the same family. So yeah, happy birthday. Cheers. So yeah, that doesn't really go too well. I mean, each of them have their own take on it. Like Oka thinks that they lied to them. She gets very emotional about it. You have Minami. She's just thinking about how yummy the food was. She's not really thinking about it too much. Bonri's trying to make everybody have a feeling of, it doesn't change anything between us. We're still family. And that kind of continues from there on. Very quickly, now that this announcement's been made, something comes up because they sort of hinted at before now that there was an incident that happened between Arata and the youngest Kotono. And yeah, this comes up again as he goes to take a bath that night and Kotono's in there. And he's like, oh, sorry about that. Goes to leave. She immediately, it's like, hey, wash my back like you usually do. He's helping her out. Gives her some, he's pretty much very stern on her, like treating her like a little sister, talking about the idea of like, you should be washing your own back. Otherwise you're going to get made fun of, yada, yada, yada. And then he goes to leave and she grabs him and says, Arata, I really love you. And he's like, no, this isn't right. We can't do this. We're still siblings or whatever. You're just confused. You're young. You think that you love me, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Apparently in the past, yeah, she's confronted him before. Like even before this announcement was made that they're, not blood related, this girl's had a crush on her big bro for a long time. But even back then it was like, we're brother and sister. That can't happen. You're confused or whatever. And now that she knows that he's not her blood related brother, she's trying to take action now. And he's still saying, no, you're too young. You're just confused, and kind of pushes her away. Yeah. And then Seiha apparently overhears it. She tries to check Arata by jumping on him and seeing if he gets all flustered to see if he'd do anything to their youngest sister. And then it kind of continues from this on to kind of meet each and one of them, getting a sense of what they feel about the whole situation, about them not being blood related. And yeah, we get to meet Minami, and she's flunking her class. So she needs help, studying. And so he studies with her and then gets in this whole thing where he feels comfortable around her, having karaoke with her. Oka just seems to be the very kind of protective with what's going on with Kotono, but she's very tsundere and wants to help hook him up with some other girl. So what's your thoughts?
I can
I'll rent a
probably,
sister.
I can probably officially say I do not like this writer.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Please
not,
do tell.
I'm not working with this at all. I like the art. That's about the only thing that this guy has got going for him, is he has got some fantastic character art. But as far as the storyline, it's just not working for me. I'm not caring for the characters and their personalities. They don't mesh for me. Yeah, I like Kotono, but I mean, I kind of am a sucker for the quiet, sweet types. But outside of that, most of the other characters have not really worked for me. Seiha felt a bit more pushy than she should. I don't know how to put it more than that. Her character type doesn't feel like the type that should be as pushy as she is. She's not. I could see her as being more of a mischievous type, but it's just not working. So in a lot of cases, most of the characters, they just are not feeling like they should. So I
You mean
I don't
they
know.
should be like archetypes? You want them to be archetypes. He's trying to branch out and make a different bookworm girl, and you're like, no, she's supposed to be more mischievous. Change her. She shouldn't be this way. Make her
No.
less aggressive.
I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm not trying to write the story for the person. I'm just saying that the characters don't feel like that doesn't feel like them. And maybe later on that it'll make more sense as it plays out. But as it stands right now, I don't care. I don't like the characters. So
You don't like the characters. Just like the style.
I just like their artwork. That's about it. But I liked the other one's artwork, and I didn't like the characters in that one either. So
That's interesting because I know that I've made it clear several times to our listeners and my viewers on YouTube that, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this writer when it comes to his main character. But I did realize at some point I do like his female casts. I did like a lot of the female characters in Rent a Girlfriend. I just couldn't stand the main character, Kazuya. And so my big like hope for Shiunji family was, okay, now that there's no Kazuya, maybe I'll like this one more. And yeah, so far I already like all the female characters. Like they're all great. Like the only one that was kind of a little bit hung up on was probably Seiha. I thought Oka, it's Rei Takahashi. Of course, I'm gonna like her. She's got a cute spunk to her. She's cute. She gets emotional, that kind of stuff. She's a little mischievous. I like her. Like overall, she's pretty solid so far. Kotono, obviously, smell that must be protected. She's got that timidness. She's trying to push so hard. This girl, before they even found out they're not blood related, this girl's been trying to get big bro. Like this girl's been pushing herself, and yeah, her getting put off to the side and saying no, this can't happen. It's not what you think it is. Then finally getting that green light, basically. Like, I felt bad for the girl initially because, like, dude, Dad, did you have to drop that on her birthday? Because everybody just goes quiet after he announces that. And they're like, yeah, kampai. And they're just sitting there in silence the rest of the dinner. And it's like, dude, you ruined the birthday. This is her 15th birthday. You ruined it. But then cut later on, it's like, no, she internally is going, yeah, best birthday present ever. I'm going to get Big Brother. Thanks, Dad. Best birthday present ever. You told me that I can I can get with my big bro. But girls push herself. Like that whole scene in the bath is like she's just flustered. Like she's pushed herself so hard. But what I loved about Kotono's story, like right now especially, and that's what was such a big hook for me in the episode 2, was like the fact what she said when he left. When he leaves that room, she literally says, "I wish you would tell me when it's no longer confusion." Bam. Like literally all these siblings are all within 3 years of each other. Kotono just hit 15. They were all a year apart before then. The rest of them are like at most 3 years older than her. But they're all acting like she's too young. She's confused. Oh, poor little Kotono. And it's like, dude, even Shion pointed out at some point, you're literally only 2 years older than her. Why are you acting like you're the big sis, that you have everything figured out? Again, what's Kotono said? When is it not confusion? Tell me when I can say no, it's real feelings. Oh no, it's confusion. You'll grow out of it. It's obviously a big struggle that somebody young is going to run into. And when is it not that? Now, whether the writer is actually going to do anything with it, that's a question mark.
It took me a minute to figure out how the whole thing. They literally were playing off all three sets as 3 sets of twins. Is how they were playing it off. So Bonri was the only one who was single, and then the other six were all twins. Is how they were playing it out.
Yeah, I know that Bonri has a secret. She's got the secret that she doesn't want to mention yet. Like, she even went in there to Dad's room afterwards. And he's like, I knew you were coming. Like, she remembered something. She just doesn't want to say anything. I'm sure that'll be some big sticking point later on. Could it be that, yeah, the other ones are twinned up too? I don't know, but
no, they have to be. That's the only way that it all fits in that 4-year span.
What do you mean?
They have to be.
Oh, you're just saying pairing up, not that they're actually blood siblings. Okay. I was like, okay, yeah, yes, go, Chris, going crazy with the theories. Let's go, Chris.
Yeah,
I hate this show, but I'm going to give some crazy theories now.
It's Arata and Oka. I'm now that you've said that Minami and Shion, so that would make Kotono and Seiha twins as well.
Yeah. I get you. But yeah, I like the whole thing with the Kotono, and then like right after that, having that whole segment with Seiha, it kind of helped me out with Seiha's character, because I think from the first episode, I just felt like she was just a bookworm. I was like, okay, just soulless doll, efficiency, robo, let's move on kind of thing. But I think that whole segment with her kind of testing Arata, and not just that whole, like, again, climbing on top of him and doing like a suggestive raise of her butt and everything. It was just more of like her just kind of strolling around the room and just prodding at him. It was just like, okay, this added character to her. Like, she had a little bit of spunk in there that I wasn't really expecting for her character to have. And then, yeah, that whole last comment that she have, I'm still your older sister on paper, so you call me something cute, like say how cute or something like that. It was a cute little kind of passing comment that she made. It kind of helped out her character a little bit. But I think Minami definitely stole the second episode, besides, again, Kotono struggling. Minami really stole the episode for episode 2, because she ends up being sort of what I kind of expected her to be. I was assuming early on that she was going to be the Genki sports girl, but Oka is technically the sports girl. Like, Oka's technically like got multiple clubs, like swimming, and there was something else that she's excelling in. Minami is just tennis, but Oka has the smart. So I was kind of trying to figure out what Minami would have to balance that. And it turns out that it's an aspect that Minami is the perfect friend. And the idea that she is the one that, her whole thing is that she just actively seeks out fun. She's constantly looking for something. This is a girl that has the attention span of a gnat. Like, she's just ball. Like, they're literally, for some reason, he decided to go to a karaoke place to help her study. And she's literally cannot stop looking at things. Like, she'll touch the screen. Like, there's a screen over here, I could touch it. Like, no, you're supposed to be studying right now. Then she just, like, turns on the karaoke and just goes up there and starts singing. And he's like, he can't help but get swept up in it. He says her energy is, like, infectious. He can't help but get involved with whatever she's doing. She's the one that he feels like he can be himself the most around. And so I'm like, she's won already. She won already right there. But yeah, she got the little Genki fun attitude going for her, and it was definitely kind of stealing me. Just based on the PV, I was already liking her character, but yeah, Bonri we haven't had too much of so far. I'm assuming she's gonna be great because she's the big sis character, but they're all for the characters for me working out really well. But again, going back to what I was saying earlier, where my big hang up for this writer is going to be, it's technically twofold. I think I've mentioned several times in my videos that my biggest fear was going to be Arata. Is he going to be another Kazuya? Because Kazuya was unbearably obnoxious. But there's the other aspect of it, which he's not. Arata seems like a pretty cool dude. Like, this is a big bro. Like, he's looking after for his sisters. You know, he's looking out for their well-being. He's concerned about them, all that kind of stuff. He's trying to fit his role. I think that whole moment where he stops Oka and Minami from arguing was a nice little moment there. But my other point of fear for the show is this writer does like to kind of spin his wheels. Like, this writer just gets stuck. He just gets stuck. He doesn't commit to anything. He doesn't like to move forward. I mean, that's why I feel that Rent-A-Girlfriend's probably been going on as long as it has, and it will probably go on forever, as he doesn't want to commit and finish things. He doesn't want to get things moving. And so there is a side fear that I have of, like, is this ever going to go anywhere? Is this ever going to do anything? But additionally, will it be just like with Rent-A-Girlfriend, where Kazuya, now replaced by Arata, is just going to repeat the same damn thing, just different words? Which, yes, I started getting a feeling of in episode 2. how many times in his head is he going to say, even though we're not related by blood, we're still siblings. Even though we're not related by blood, we're still siblings. We're still siblings. We're still siblings. We're still siblings. Like, this guy's going to is this going to be his thing? Like, every time it's in his head, he's just constantly saying, no, can't do that. We're siblings. Can't do that. We're siblings.
That's him.
We can't do that. We're siblings.
That's him.
That's literally Kazuya. Just different words. Kazuya did the same damn thing where she's a rental. She doesn't really love me. She's just a rental. She's not going to love me. She's never loved me. She's always been a rental. It's like, okay, it's Kazuya. Now, he's not as obnoxious about as Kazuya was. I don't think he could ever beat Kazuya.
Well, the first time he does the worm thing, then we got you. I'm telling you, Andrew, it's coming.
Next episode.
It's coming.
Next episode. Gonna totally do it. Next episode. Chris has cursed it. Chris cursed it. Blame him. He's the one that did it. I think the big plus that we have for this show, though, and Rent a Girlfriend's got some great art for it as well, and the studio did well in kind of accenting certain scenes, but Dogakobo's doing really good with this one. Like, it visually looks really good. A lot of the shots for the characters look fantastic. He's definitely pulling out the cuteness of these characters, but again, the big hanging point is going to be how it progresses. Is going to be the big sticking point, is how it progresses. If it's going to get once it establishes the characters, if it's going to get stuck on things. Like, I have a big curiosity around Kotono. If it's going to turn into an aspect of, yes, does she realize at some point it was technically, sibling, that feeling of sibling, attraction is not necessarily love itself, and is she going to struggle with that, or is she going to move on and at some point realize that, no, it's always been actual love? Can I pursue it now that we're actually, not blood related? And it seems like they're all kind of open to it. The sisters, obviously, Oka doesn't seem like she's for it. Seiya seems to be opening the door. Like, Seiya's like, again, scientifically, it's like, yes, if we're biologically, blood related, bad thing. But if you're not, perfectly fine. Like, she's like, sees no problem, and if it's perfectly fine, you could do all that stuff. She's like, you could just do the edgy stuff with them. It's perfectly open door. I don't know if I see much really attraction outside of that. I think that's the big interesting thing so far. I don't really necessarily see. Seiha seems to show signs that she says that she has no feelings for Arata, but when she left the room, it was like, there's no feelings, right? Like, she's literally questioning herself. Like, you don't really mean that. Minami, I don't see it. That's the interesting thing. Minami, I don't see it. Banri, I don't see it. Kotono, yes, obviously. Oka, not really. So that's really the biggest, most interesting thing about this setup so far. Because the joke is, this is like the biggest incest party ever. This is a sister love harem right here. But it's interesting that despite this writer, only one of them seems to show any sort of affection for him. The rest of them are kind of up in the air. It hasn't been like a thirst fest for the first 2 episodes. I mean, unless you think that, like, very quickly here, it's going to shift once they all know what Kotono's doing. Because it does seem like Seiha seen it, and she started... The only person that's seen what happened in that bathroom was Seiha. And what did she do?
Suddenly she jumped on his lap.
She's immediately starting to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Oka knows about what happened with Kotono in the past, and that might start to spur her up. But I think it's really going to be like through Kotono's actions, because I don't think Kotono's stopping. But that was what I was thinking was going to happen with the previews. Like, when we were talking about the PVs, I was like, I bet you, because it showed the scene with Kotono. I'm like, it's going to be one of those things where Kotono's the first, and it's going to be like flood. Like, oh, everybody's now starting to race towards him. Oni-chan, big bro, the heir to the family. It's always worked out for us. He'll take care of us, kind of thing. Anyways, anything else on that one? I'm enjoying it. I'm fearful of it, though. We'll see if it turns into too much of a spinning the wheels thing. I'm surprised how much negative Chris is on this show. I thought he was going to join me on, like, talking it up, and then he's like, no, I hate this show. I hate the characters. It looks good, but I hate the characters. I hear everything about it. Rare Chris being angry about a harem cutesy girls show.
Oh no, I'll watch it. Harem, anytime harem and ecchi are in the same thing, I'm gonna go for it. Now don't get me wrong, I may change everything when we get towards the end, so
what, change towards positive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I mean, you got me with the great character artwork, and we got the ecchi, and I mean, why the heck wouldn't I want to watch it? But then towards the end, I mean, maybe I'll change. I don't have any faith in this guy's writing at this point. I have none.
No faith in his writing.
Now, I fully admit that I may be going into this with a slight disgust towards his writing. So who knows? Maybe that's I'm just finding it as the same. That's all I'm seeing is the same. But no, I agree. Arata is nowhere near as bad as Kazuya, but he's not too far off. Poor you.
Hate, dude. Absolute haterade right here. Absolute haterade.
I'm not going to fall into the same thing I got last time. I'm not going to watch it five seasons worth of it.
Tell us how you really feel, Chris. Is that how you really feel about it? I guess we'll call it there. Probably could do a little bit more, but that's fine. I'm glad that we got some done this week, but we'll come back next week for more. We're gonna have probably like 4 or 5 weeks of impressions, but we'll just take them as we usually do. Just knock them out as it goes along. Don't rush it, and we'll get through them eventually. But anyhow, that's our first part of our summer. I'm already in summer. Gosh, summer's gonna be crazy, dude. I don't even want to think about it. Summer's gonna be crazy. The spring 2025 anime season first impressions. Hope you guys enjoyed this as always. If you did, hit the like button down below or rate us on podcast service of choice, all that stuff. But yes, we're at otakuspirit.com, which all of our links are, social media links, ways to get a hold of us, ways to support us. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Supports channel. And until next time, y'all take care.
Os.